Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Wildcat MTG. I just wanted to take a moment. We're coming up on the end of 2022. We have another week left, but I wanted to take a moment to connect. We're actually going to be a different kind of video today, and I'm going to end up doing a opening of a couple of secret layers. We're going to do a Blood Bowl Secret Lair opening, and then the 30th anniversary countdown kit opening. I finally got mine. There's a little bit of a story to it, and I'll make sure I tell that story while I'm opening the kit, but I wanted to take a moment to connect with you all and just wish everybody out there a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to everyone out there. No matter how you celebrate it, I hope it's with loved ones and friends and family. And I just wanted to make sure that from me to you, that I express that to you. I appreciate you all out there, and I hope that you all have a wonderful holiday season out there. So we're gonna. By the way, there's something finally up there. I've had some comments. Some friends of my local LGS who watch my channel have been harassing me and like, dude, what is going on with the blank shelves? So you know who you are, and who you guys. You savages. There's something up there. Are you happy? Well, there's gonna be plenty of more time to decorate. But anyways, that's it for me today. We're gonna flash you over to the countdown kit opening now, the Secret Lair, and again, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, everybody. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. So as promised here, we have a couple of secret layers that we're going to crack open today. We're going to start off with the actual secret layer, the Blood Bowl edition, which I'm actually pretty excited about. And then we're going to go, I'm actually very excited about both of these, let's be honest. Then after that, we're going to do the 30th anniversary countdown kit. So I'm going to do the Blood Bowl first. And as we get into it, I'm going to start by, I understand that I'm late to the party with the 30th anniversary kit, and there is a reason for that. Welcome back, fans. An evening of thrilling sports action, Bob Bifford. So, for those of you who may not be familiar with what Blood Bowl is, actually this is a game that's, I have kind of been on the path with Secret Lairs recently for a while now, that, I'm really only buying the Secret Lairs that I particularly am interested in, whether it's from an IP or nostalgic or whatever standpoint. And for those of you who may not be familiar, Blood Bowl is actually a really fun tabletop game that's actually, I mostly play it on tabletop, or excuse me, I mostly play it on console nowadays. But it's like a mixture of football meets fantasy. So there's like dwarves and orcs and elves, and they all have special, it's basically, a turn-based game that, you play by, each person has a clock and you take your turn. It's actually very cool. I really wish people played more of it, so I wanted to buy the Blood Bowl Secret Lair because I wanted to support the cause. I'm a big fan of Blood Bowl. That said, I'm not like a huge fan of the card selection that they picked as far as to represent Blood Bowl. Just if you're a Magic player, there's just not a ton of appeal in terms of value here, but I do like it. And so like if Blood Bowl meets orcs and dwarves and elves and goblins meets sounds something that's interesting to you, then I would encourage you guys to check it out. It's a game that I still play regularly, although mostly via console. So, all right. So first we have a touchdown, which is the approach of the second sun. Again, I was like, well, that was the best we could do there, huh? Okay, sure, why not? Next up we have reroll. So like once. Up to once per turn, depending on how many rerolls that you have purchased for your team. You can basically redo an action and attempt to do it again. It doesn't mean success. You might fail again. But they chose the card Rewind for this. So, counter target spell and untap up to 4 lands. Pretty cool. Next up, we have Both Down, which is so if you throw blocks in the game of Blood Bowl, you roll dice or a die for it, and one of the results can be both players knock each other down unless they have the block skill. So Both Down would be this is Bone Splinters, again, very like I don't know, sure, Bone Splinters I'm sure sees tons of play. It's been reprinted a million times. It's included in a bunch of sets. It sees some play, but it doesn't really represent, I don't think it really represents Blood Bowl. And then next up we have Throw Teammate, which is a very interesting skill in Blood Bowl. If you have one of your big super strong guys, you can actually pick up your teammate that has the ball and attempt to throw them. And if you throw them successfully, and if they land successfully, then they can attempt to also run afterwards. So it's kind of a cool way for some teams, another way for some teams to score. This is the Fling card. This actually is pretty on theme, right? Appropriate. Pick up your team and throw them and try to do some damage. So that's pretty cool. I at least thought it felt like that was on theme. And May not see a ton of play, but that's okay as far as a Magic card is concerned. All right, Perfect Defense. This is pretty much all of the value in the Secret Lair. A really good card. Perfect Defense is like one of those random events that can happen before a kickoff in Blood Bowl. So if you happen to get a Perfect Defense, you have to set up your defense first, and then the offense gets to set up next, and then you re-roll like roll like a random event, and one of them is Perfect Defense, which allows you to reset up your defense, which can be obviously very, very advantageous. The actual Magic card, Defense of the Heart, though, is actually quite good. I'll actually end up throwing this in a deck. I like the art. Again, I'm a big fan of Blood Bowl, the game. So I wanted to, support and represent. So at the beginning of your upkeep, if an opponent controls 3 or more creatures, sacrifice Perfect Defense or Defense of the Heart. Search your library for up to two creature cards and put those cards onto the battlefield. A very, very playable commander card. And again, most of the value in the Secret Lair is in this particular card. And then we're going to end up, our last card is the Ball, which is a Fell War Stone. Again, very, very I don't know, it just felt like generic and didn't really feel like they put like a ton of effort into Fling. I'll give you Perfect Defense. I'll give you, as far as like being on point with theme meets Magic card. I'll play with it. It's a Fell War Stone. It's obviously super commander playable as a mana rock. I think my opponents in Commander will look at me sideways when we see me playing a card called the Ball. But that's it for the Blood Bowl Secret Lair. And so I understand I was kind of going back, oh, there's the secret card. I forgot. Actually, I have no idea what the secret card is. It's a Waste. Oh, that's kind of cool. Does appear to be non-foil. I'm going to crack it open because I'm going to end up keeping it anyway. That's kind of neat. This looks like a stadium in the game. It's a little bent. Thankfully, oh yeah, look at that. That's creased. Man, that's upsetting. Wizards will be hearing from me because that is an absolute straight up crease in the card. Yep, see, you can see it right there. That's super fun. It's not even foiling. It's not even bad foiling. It's just bad quality. That's terrible. Well, I like Waste, obviously. It's a cool Magic card. Oh yeah, it looks like the hologram is actually a little bit shaved there too, as far as being imperfect. Yeah, good job, Wizards. Thanks for that. Cool. I wish I had something more positive to say. I actually liked Waste. I think it's a cool card. I think it's on theme. You can see it's like the stadium for Blood Bowl. Would be representing it well otherwise if it weren't for just getting a completely damaged card. So that's super fun. All right, so that's the Blood Bowl Secret Lair. Not bad. Again, I like Defense of the Heart, and there's some fun stuff there. I bought that to keep it and hang on to. All right, so now on to the main edition, the main attraction here. There's my plug for Blood Bowl. You guys should, if you guys don't know the game, you guys should look into it. It's worthwhile. It's fun. I've been playing it for, gosh, how long have I been playing Blood Bowl for? Since off and on for 20 years. Crazy to say out loud. All right. Oh, so the Secret Versary comes with a cool-looking 20-sided die. That's neat. Why don't we give it a roll here? Why not? Just for... That's not a 20-sided die. That's a 30-sided die, isn't it? I got an 11. Yeah, that's definitely... I was like, there's so many sides to that. All right, cool. So my hilarious story for why I'm so late to the party on 30th anniversary, the Secret Versary here was... when I was making the purchase, and I know that it was a scramble to check out and try to get your order in before they ran out. And apparently there's like a box that you can select that says, hey, ship all my stuff together. And I thought I was going to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. And actually, I'll just get my Secret Lair for Blood Bowl at the same time I purchase these. No big deal. Except I forgot to uncheck the box that said like ship them separately. Instead, it was shipping them together. So I had to wait for the Blood Bowl Secret Lairs to be ready. I honestly didn't think I was going to get these until like Christmas of 23. I was like, well, I guess I have something cool for Christmas for next year. So that's why I'm so late to the party. But you know what? I still think it arrived. It arrived a day or two ago, and I was like, you know what? This will be a fun Christmas opening video. So here we are. We have super cool cards. I like that they did the hooks. I'm not going to use them. Obviously, we're not doing this Advent calendar style, considering I'm opening these all up on Christmas Eve for Christmas. But pretty cool. Like, I think the Secret Lair was pretty much a home run across the board. So we've got 30 of these to open up, and I believe that the idea is that The cards are all the same. We know what the cards are for the most part, but about a 30% chance of them being foils. So, and some of these being foil more valuable than others. But here we go. Let's go ahead and dive on in, and I'm excited because I finally get to, after watching dozens of people open theirs, I finally get to open up mine and share it with you all. So 1993. Each one of these represents each one of these cards represents a different year in Magic. And in 1983, we have good old Shivan Dragon. This is a non-foil, and this is the most classic of dragons, right? Like that's kind of like, this is like the gold standard, and Shivan Dragon is now outclassed, right? Like there's way better dragons now. Now a 6 for a 5/5 that has what we call fire breathing on it, and flying is it's barely above uncommon. Like now it's like bulk rare status. But back in the day, Shivan Dragon was one of the, Shivan Dragon, Sarah Angel, Sengir Vampire, Mahamoti Jin, like that was the class of Magic creatures back then. And I'm sure there's one I'm probably forgetting. What, like maybe, I don't know, Force of Nature or something? I don't know. But that was like the class of creatures, right? All right. 1994. Mishra's Factory. Very classic card. And now we, again, as far as like, this was like, again, the gold standard for call them man lands. A creature that could be a land that could become a creature that could also pump itself after it attacked. Or after it blocked was pretty cool, right? Pretty fun. Mishra's Factory, now that's reprinted all the time. It's at uncommon level most of the time, and again, sort of outclassed by the power creep, but again, Mishra's Factory was really that standard in a really, interesting space. Lands were a fairly undeveloped space at that time. All right, 1995, Necropotence. This unfortunately is not foil, but Necropotence, man, I actually played the Summer of Necro back in 1995 when it was Necropotence, and let me tell you what a just a straight up mean deck that was. Dark Ritual was in play. You had Hymn to Torak. You could basically go land Dark Ritual into Hypnotic Spectre, and if your opponent could not answer that immediately, your turn 1 Hypnotic Spectre immediately, good luck to you, because once it hit you, it discard a card at random, and then on your turn 2, you're probably playing Hymn to Torak, and then your opponent's discarding 2 more cards at random. Turn 3, you're restocking your own hand with Necro or something else. Just really, really interesting. All right, 1996. This was really like, 95 is when I started really kind of playing Magic, and then 96 when I was all in. Limdol's Vault. This is from Alliances. This is non-foil, so we've yet to hit actually a foil. Limdol's Vault was really under the radar at the time that it came out. Like, it was in Alliances, and it's cool. Now it's like ridiculously, CDH powerful, because for a nominal amount of life, you can basically filter through your entire library to look for the piece you're looking for. I actually did play it in a deck back in the day. I was actually running it in Stasis. Yes, I'm a monster, and I was playing Stasis back then. I was playing Turbo Stasis. All right, 1997. Trade Wind Rider. I was actually kind of on my way out of the game. This is like when I exited the game for the first time, right around, I would say, Tempest. So Trade Wind Rider, again, still no foils to this point. But Tempest, yeah, all the way up from Tempest all the way through midway through the first Ravnica block, I was out of Magic. So 1997, 98, like 99, 2000, a lot of that I was already now exiting Magic for the first time. All right, so 1998, our card is Smokestack. Again, non-foil. So we've gone, six years now and no foils? All right, good old Smokestack. That's a cool-looking card, though. I mean, regardless of how you feel about some of the cards or the selections or whatever, I think we all have to give our hats off to Wizards. The product is really good. Getting it was obviously the hardest part, but the art is really good. This is just a really fun product, and it's fun to walk down memory lane. I will say it that way. All right, so we've got 1999 now. What did we pick for 1999? For 99, we've got our first. It is Squee. It is our first foil. So we're at Squee Goblin Nabob. Squee is, I think, I would consider Squee a fairly beloved character in Magic history. I think most people would agree with that. Goblin that just doesn't go away. All right, that's our first foil. So interesting. I've seen Man, what have I seen? I've seen as little as like 5 or 6 foils, not counting the bonus card. I've seen as little as 5 or 6 foils and as many as like 11, maybe 12. All right, next up for the year 2000, we've got Lin Civi Defiant Hero. Again, not a time I was actually playing. I don't have a lot of like experience or cool stories to go with this card, unfortunately. I was not in Magic at this time. Wasn't probably until we hit about 2005. So as we hit that pile in 2005, you'll probably hear me lose my mind a little bit more because that's where the nostalgia really, really kicks in for me. That's probably when I was playing, aside from now, most heavily. All right, so the year 2001. I don't even want to think about how old I was back then. We've got Wild Mongrel. Yeah, very cool Wild Mongrel. That goes pretty well with like Madness stuff. All right, and we head into 2002. Our varying degrees of foil to non-foil is pretty apparent here. This doesn't appear to be foil from the backside either. All right, so 2002. Don't remember what this is. This is Genesis. Again, crazy good art, right? 5 for a 4/4. At the beginning of your upkeep, if it's in your graveyard, you can pay 3, and if you do, return it to your hand. That was, I imagine, a pretty powerful card back then. Wild, wild, wild. All right, 2003. 2003 or 2004. One of these, I think, is Mirrored in Block, which has a pretty significant card in it. I'm going to guess this might actually be foil. So 2003, some of you guys might already be Oh, there we go. Yeah, all right. Chrome Mox. I was like, I think this is the Mirrored in one, right? And it does kind of look a little foily. So from that back, it had just a little curve to it. There we go. So we got a foil Chrome Mox. Of the significance here, probably I would say Necropotence and Chrome Mox are the two big financial gains here, and the ones that where you, if, again, only 30% chance if you want one to be foil. These are probably the 2 years that you're most interested in. So much so that I'm actually going to insta-sleeve this one. Bear with me just a moment here. Grab a sleeve real quick. Chrome Mox. That's a good one. That is a good one. Very nice. I kind of want to showcase that at the top here. So, all right, that's 2003. Mirrored in Block. Again, I wasn't playing Magic at the time. I've only heard how disgustingly good Affinity was at that time. Some of you guys will have better stories than I do for that, but I remember kind of coming back somewhere around 2004, 2005 is when I started re-entering the picture and hearing about, Affinity and Arcbound Ravager and all that good stuff. Hey, Glimpse of Nature. Actually, that's probably a pretty good one as well. Glimpse of Nature had a moment in time where Elf Ball was a prevalent deck, and Glimpse of Nature was a key combo piece for it that could allow you to basically just almost draw through your deck. Pretty good card. That's actually a really good foil. And, and before I pass it up, I want to take a moment to admire it because I personally think this art, I know art is subjective. I personally think this art looks incredible. This really does something for me. I love it. I think that looks beautiful. All right, so 2005. This is me re-entering Magic in like the middle of the very, very first Ravnica block. I played super heavily from 2005 all the way to 2010. This appears to be foil as well. I have no idea what the card is. It is Lightning Helix. I remember this. Cool art though. Love that. And now our foil account is starting to balance out a little bit more as well. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Lightning Helix. Definitely a... now it's like, regularly printed at the uncommon level. Super playable. See some play in Modern. Good card. When you consider that card was, 2005, and it still holds up as a playable card, that says a lot about how powerful was it at this time. If Lightning Bolt was kind of its own thing, and then Healing Salve was its own thing, this also appears to be another foil. So 2006 bringing us a Bogard and Hellkite. This was a win con. Back in the day when Dragon Storm, and Storm was a combo deck, you would basically play 4 Bogard and Hellkites in your deck. You would use things like, Desperate Rituals and Seething Songs to ramp your way up, build up your Storm count until you could cast Dragon Storm, and then you would Dragon Storm for at least 4, basically fetch out all 4 of your Bogard and Hellkites, have them all enter the battlefield, and just kill your opponent. That was a real deck. That was a real deck. All right, so next up we've got 2007 here, and this is Ponder. That would have been a nice one in foil as well. Cool, crazy looking art. Ponder is a very, very powerful Magic card as well. Yeah, that's a really big one. This is, I mean, now we're talking about like Time Spiral block, Lorwyn block, Shards of Alara block, the introduction of Mythics and Planeswalkers. Planeswalkers and Mythics were Mythic was not a rarity, and Planeswalkers were not a thing until I think the Alara block. Very interesting, very developmental time in Magic's history. Time Spiral, that block really turned the color pie for Magic on its head by giving us a Black Wrath of God, now known as Damnation. Doing a lot of things that in colors that did not do those things previously. All right, this kind of looks foily as well. So we've got 2008, and this is going to be a Heritage Druid. Beautiful card. Love the foiling on that. That really pops. You can see all the subtleties there with that foiling there. Very, very nice. And big combo piece with that Elf Ball deck as well. Tap 3 untapped elves you control to add 3 green mana. It's how you just keep the card draw and the card ramp going. All right, next up we've got 2009. Our foil count really doing work now for getting shut out in those first bunch of packs. This also appears to be foil in 2009. As Bloodbraid Elf. That is gorgeous. And I know Bloodbraid Elf, obviously it's been reprinted a bunch, and there's a really cool borderless version in Double Masters 22 now, but I gotta be honest, I love this art. This looks beautiful. Like, this is a really well-engineered product. I know I'm just throwing out compliments left and right, but I think it looks amazing. All right, 2010. 2010 is kind of when I started finding my way out a little bit. Like, I think what was World Wake, I think was that set. That was like the last set that I was really playing. Sun Titan, an oldie but a goodie. Still sees a bunch of play. I actually have a couple of commander decks I could probably slot that into. Very, very nice. All right, 2011. 2011. This is a dormant era for me again. As I mentioned, I kind of left during World Wake, and I thought I was done with Magic forever. Like, I really thought I sold off all my cards. I was, doing adult things, and job became somehow became a career, and focused on things like, I don't know, acquiring a house and all that other good stuff, and I kind of thought I was done. Ooh, Birthing Pod. Yeah, that's a good one too. I've only heard tales about how busted and gross that card was. I cannot even, Phyrexian Mana's, I remember coming back to the game, and a buddy was kind of catching me up on current events, and he's telling me, like, oh yeah, Damage doesn't use the stack anymore, and I thought he was lying to me. Several of you are out there like, I don't understand, Damage used the stack at one point? Yep, it sure did. It sure did. All right, 2012. All right, Deathrite Shaman. Yeah, that's a pretty gnarly card. I heard that this caught a ban fairly quick and is banned in quite a bit of formats as well. Again, kind of that dormant period of time. But I can see between 2011 and 2012 are you getting Birthing Pod, Phyrexian Mana in general, and Deathrite Shaman, just a one-drop Swiss Army knife. Why, that was like, hey, there's that power creep. I understand why they didn't do it for probably for value reasons, but it feels like a miss not having Tarmogoyf in here. And Tarmogoyf's not even that expensive anymore. But that was just a card that was the best 2-drop of all time for a decade plus. All right, next up, 2013. This appears to be foily. That is Elspeth, Sun's Champion. This is a Planeswalker. This is a really good Planeswalker, and I love that retro frame bordering and foiling. It looks really good. I can't say that I'm a fan of like the rules text and how they're doing it in there, but the actual card itself looks gorgeous. And that was a pretty good card, if I recall back in the day. People telling me about it anyway. Again, Planeswalkers weren't even a thing. Like, Mythic wasn't a rarity, and Planeswalkers weren't a thing, I think, until the Alara block. All right, 2014 up next, and now we're really making up some ground on our foil list, right? Because this is another one. And then this is Siege Rhino. And again, I've only heard tales about how good Siege Rhino was during its time, but I see the value there, right? The ETB, it's 4 for a 4/5 trample, and it's got an ETB of Drain 3. That's pretty good. I could see how that would be very good. What are we at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're at 9 foils now. 9 foils. So we definitely caught up average wise, and we got, I would say one of the 2 ones. If you had to say, hey, which 2 do you want in foil? If you got to choose, that would be one of the 2 that you would choose. All right, 2015. This appears to be foily, and we've got a Dragon Lord. That is a beautiful card in that art. It's 5 for a 5/4, hexproof as long as it's untapped, flying. Whenever it deals combat damage, look at the top 3, put one of them in your hand. That's pretty good. Like, Just imagine going from 5 for a 5/4 flyer that does all this to from Shivan Dragon, which was 6 for a 5/5 flyer. And you know, you could pump it up if you had some spare mana as well. That's a long way to go. All right, 2016. What do we have up next? It's so funny because a lot of these cards, you know, are somewhat unfamiliar to me. Like, oh, I've only heard tales of this card. I've heard of it being used. All right, 2016. This is kind of a fun walk down memory lane, though. Hope you guys are enjoying it. All right, what do we got next? This is Thalia Heretic Cathar. Yeah, I'm familiar with that. So this is, I mean, we've got a couple of Thalias that have been very impactful as far as taxing your opponents and making it harder for your opponents to do things. That's one of them, right? All right, 2017. So we're about 2 years away from Ian rediscovering, complete accident, rediscovering Magic the Gathering. What do we have for 2017? I'm being very, very careful with these just because there's only one card in there and my worst fear is like accidentally bending it. All right, so 2017, we've got, Nico Bolas. Yeah, God Pharaoh. This was also reprinted recently in Double Masters. It is just a monster of a card, especially in like a limited format. Actually got to play in a sealed event at M30, and I was able to pull that card in my packs, and I definitely included it, and it won me some games. Actually, I think 3-0'd with that deck. It was a really good deck. I had a good pool. That's a really strong pool. But yeah, that card straight up just hits the board and ends games. All right, we've got 2018, and this is Arclight Phoenix. So this is actually me finding my way back into Magic. It was the Ravnica block. It was Guilds of Ravnica and Ravnica Allegiance, I think. Arclight Phoenix, a good card, like still sees play in Pioneer. Before Faithless Looting caught a ban in Modern, Phoenix deck was a top tier deck, and Arclight Phoenix was a 4 of in that deck, as you might imagine, since Phoenix is actually in the name. So it pops up every once in a while when, and it still holds some value as well. Really, really cool card. All right, 2019. Emery Lurker of the Lock. So this is Throne of Eldraine, right? So this is like the launch of collector boxes, the era of variants coming forward. And 2020, we've got a couple years left. Here. Throne of Eldraine, by the way, is probably my, aside from Time Spiral Remastered, since coming back to Magic in late 18, Throne of Eldraine is got to be one of my top 4 sets. Probably Time Spiral Remastered, maybe Modern Horizons 2, and then maybe even Throne after that. All right, so 2020. Oh, yeah! This is another one where if you were wanting to ask for a foil version, this is absolutely it. This looks amazing. This is a card I was psyched about seeing. When I saw the Secret Lair and it was kind of spoiled, this was a card I was very, very excited about. I think this art looks top tier. This is beautiful. Absolutely one of my favorite cards. And in fact, so much so that I'm actually going to throw it up there with our Chrome Mox friend. Ever so slightly. There we go. Foiled Shark Typhoon. Very, very nice. All right, not bad. What a good product. I hope you guys are enjoying the experience of trip down memory lane. We've got 2 left here. We've got 2021. This appears to be non-foil. I don't even remember what the card is. Oh, Elite Spellbinder. Yeah, okay. Very classic. That's a Strixhaven card. Strixhaven, unfortunately, it's just not one of my favorite sets. The Mystical Archive is very, very cool. Thematically, very, very good. Not a fan of the set overall, though. But Elite Spellbinder, very good card. And then 2022, plus our bonus card in here. We finish up with a Nashi Moon Sage's Scion. Very, very nice. And then our foil is a Lotus Field. Beautiful foiling. That's the bonus card in here. I believe they're all foil. So there we go. That is the 30th anniversary countdown kit. It's supposed to be kind of done as an advent kit, unless you're a goofus like me and you forgot to uncheck a box, and now you're just happy to have it before Christmas actually arrived. Hope you guys enjoyed this today, and if you did, do me a favor. If you're not subscribed already, hit the subscribe button for me, hit the like button for me, and by all means, drop me a comment. I appreciate each and every one of you, and Merry Christmas, everybody, and Happy Holidays. I wish you all the best for you and your loved ones. Thank you so much. Be well.